Hello all, this is klniharika, counseling psychologist and founder of Manastva. So in the previous video I have introduced the topic freedom through rationality and how a human being loses his freedom or tries to follow something blindly and tries to follow someone else's orders or gives up the freedom and the power to think, power to practice something on his own and be authentic. So how a person loses all this. So we are going to discuss various reasons why a person loses freedom. And in this video, I'm going to particularly talk about one particular issue. So there are many more reasons why a person loses freedom. So this video is about one particular reason. So here question is, so is it possible to have faith in a religion or if I want to practice a custom, if someone wants to practice a custom. So is it possible to be religious and practice a custom and also struggle for freedom and also not give up the freedom? So is that possible? For example, if a man is kind of beating his wife or beating a woman and he says that, so there is a religious discrimination, this is a religious discrimination because he learned from the religion that women are not equal to men. So if he says this, now let us challenge some of the things he is preaching or some of the things everybody is understanding from his behavior. So is it the religion that is really responsible for what he is doing? So now, for example, let us talk about Hinduism. In that, there is Manusmriti. In the Manusmriti, it is mentioned that men are not equal to women, women are not equal to men, and women are inferior when compared to men. So it is true that in Manusmriti it is mentioned, but can we say that the man who abuses his wife or daughter, he's basically doing this because he follows Manusmriti? So that is the question, first question. So maybe he's not exactly following Manusmriti because in the Manusmriti also it is not mentioned that he should beat his wife, he should beat his daughter, he can beat his daughter, he can beat his wife. So that's not mentioned. So if that is the case, what he is doing is not, there are so many things that generally in the society people deviate from Manusmriti. So that means within one particular thing that is Manusmriti, within that there are like people are deviated from it in many ways. Like for example, uh, in that it is mentioned that women should be respected, but that's not being followed. So in that way. Now next question is Manusmriti almost equal to Hinduism? So if he wants to practice Hinduism, is it necessary that he should follow Manusmriti? So in the Hinduism, there are several other smritis like Narada Smriti. So again, he also has a choice of not following Manusmriti in order to be a Hindu, in order to practice Hinduism. He need not do that. Now, next level. Next level, so is it mandatory that he should practice Hinduism to be an Indian? No, he need not follow Hinduism to be an Indian because in India it's a secular country and every human being has choice. That like human being can choose what religion to practice. But how many people are actually choosing religions? So how many people are actually reading about religions and actually trying to know about the customs and making choices? No, most of the people are following the religion that they acquire by birth. Like they are not exercising, they're not using the kind of provision that we all have. Like for being in India, we have a kind of opportunity to choose our religion, but most of the people, 99% people, only except 1% people, they are also converting or they are also kind of choosing different religions for different reasons. Like for example, a guy wants to marry a Christian girl, he's trying to convert, and a girl wants to marry Muslim guy and she's trying to convert. So there are different reasons, but there is nobody who is actually trying to explore all the religions and make a particular choice. That means so now I'm trying to explain freedom at three levels. So level 1 freedom, where this guy had like kind of opportunity to choose something within the Manusmriti. Like within the Manusmriti, it's not written that he can abuse his wife. So, but he chose to abuse. And next level, within Hinduism, he had a choice to choose Manusmriti or any other Smriti, because Hinduism has so many kind of schools and so many philosophies. Again, he had a choice, but again he chose something Manusmriti, and that again next level freedom at third level, that is in being Indian. So again he has a choice to choose Hinduism or any other religion. So at three levels he had choice. So which Smriti he wants to choose, which religion he wants to choose, and within Smriti which principles he wants to choose. He has choice. But what he is doing is, first of all, so choosing kind of being in India, he is choosing Hinduism, then he is choosing Manusmriti, and then he is choosing to beat his wife, which is not written in the Manusmriti also. Then what is the actual source? Why is he beating his wife? So if it is not written in the, of course in the Manusmriti there are things like women don't get equal share like men when partitions happen. So women are not equal to men, and there is religious discrimination and caste based discriminations are all there. But when he's beating his wife, this is irrelevant to what is written in the Manusmriti. That means what he's doing out of his pure choice. Like what he's doing is his own custom, his own behavior, his own, that's coming from his brain, that he wants to beat his wife. That's a kind of aggressiveness, and let us call it antisocial nature, and that's coming from within. And he is adding few labels to it. He is saying that it is also from Manusmriti, it is also from Hinduism, it's also from India. None of these things are true. So first of all, his behavior is not linked to any of these three, and also his behavior is not coming from any of these three, and also these three are like choices. He need not stick to any of these three, and these are just choices. So that means he is misusing the names of Manusmriti, Hinduism, and India just to beat his wife, and it is his purely coming from the person. So any kind of discriminatory behavior, any kind of, let us talk about again caste based discrimination. And when somebody is doing caste based discrimination, what kind of humiliation they are doing to the someone who belongs to lower caste? They are doing it on their own, a method they are practicing, and they are kind of doing various kind of cruel acts and kind of beating, and so this various kind of cruel acts they design, they do it on their own. And they say that again in the Manusmriti it's not written that how a person from the upper caste has to humiliate or has to harass, bully a person from the lower caste. And they use the reference of Manusmriti. And again, Manusmriti is also a choice. He can go to choose any other Smriti. And again, they use the name of Hinduism. And in the Hinduism, again, only Manusmriti is not the only literature. In the Manusmriti, there is discrimination. There is a there is a division based on caste. But again, that's a choosing Manusmriti is also a choice. When it comes to Hinduism, again, choosing Hinduism is also a choice. So like that, what happens is a person, when he practices something which is a kind of discrimination, and which is antisocial in nature, he does it and out of his own will, and he enjoys it, and he kind of suppresses the other person, and he wants to suppress the other person, so he does it. And then he labels it as a custom, and he says that it belongs to this particular kind of school of this particular region, religion, and this particular country. So he uses all the names, that it is a custom, it is from a religion, it is from a school, it's from a country. So he uses all these labels. But all these, sometimes what he does is mentioned in the kind of customs. Sometimes what he does is not in the customs. Then also he gives the name of the customs. And even if it is there in the custom, whether he has to practice it or not, that's a choice. Because custom is not a religion, and religion is not a country, because in the country we have choices to choose our religion. So none of these are fixed. So here what happens is, a person is not using the power to choose and choosing only to discriminate or do something wrong, and he uses all sorts of labels to justify what he is doing. And this is what happens. So what court does, we can talk about triple talaq. Now, how Supreme Court kind of gave order against it. What court does is, court will check if is this a custom part of a religion or not. Is it a necessary part of the religion or not, or is it mandatory in a religion or not? So court gave orders against women were not getting equal amount of share during the partition in the according to Hindu law, and court changed that, and legal changes happened, and there is a triple talaq and legal changes happened. So whatever, like for example sati and caste system, untouchability, whenever there is something, court does is, court will check if something is essential element of a religion or not. If something is essential element, then only it needs to be practiced. If it is not essential element, why are we practicing? So if it is not essential element of any religion. And secondly, what court does is, court will check if this is interfering with fundamental rights. Like for example, right to freedom, right to equality. Every human being is equal. So fundamental rights are the basis of anything that happens in the kind of legal system. So fundamental rights, if we understand, so as I mentioned, to choose religion is also a fundamental right. So court will see if that's interfering with the fundamental rights, something being practiced in a religion. If it is interfering, court will go against it. And also court will give two kinds of choices to a person. One thing is, any person can choose any religion, that is one choice. And another choice is, within the religion a person can choose to do something or not do something, practice a particular custom or not practice a particular custom. So especially he will think if that is essential to follow this religion, so he will check. And if it is essential part, then also he can choose not to follow that religion. If it is not essential part, he can choose to follow the religion but not follow that particular practice. So when we have so many choices, so why people discriminate, why people take the name of religion, custom, all this is the people who are kind of discriminatory, and because they want to discriminate, I consider it as complete choice. Because the choice means it's not something mandatory that they have learned and they have to do. So maybe they have learned from their parents, of course, that's very different. I'm saying they have not learned from the religion, they have learned from maybe people around, from their parents, and they want to live a kind of superior narcissistic life where they want to suppress others and consider that others are not equal to them and they are special. And this kind of narcissistic traits are coming, and that is why they do all this, but not because it's prescribed somewhere or it's written somewhere. They don't do all this because of it is written somewhere. Even if they're doing, one thing that they should do is, they have to start questioning. So something that can allow a person to make choices and to kind of live a free life and exercise the freedom, and also give freedom to other people. So what can help is only rationality. So here, what is the role of rationality in this particular context? In this context, anytime we are doing something, we need to question. So as I mentioned, all these questions. So is it an essential part of a religion, or is it a mandatory thing in particular religion? And if it is mandatory, so do I have a choice to follow any other religion, not this religion? Or within the religion, if it is not mandatory, I can choose not to practice this, but I can choose to practice something else within the same religion. So like this, we have to use our rationality to see if it is matching with the fundamental rights and ethics, and then we need to choose the practices and customs accordingly. So that is the main take home message. And freedom through rationality. So rationality is questioning something that we are doing, whether it is affecting the fundamental rights or not. So is it a kind of discriminatory act? So is it affecting other people in a negative way? So that's what is a those are the rational questions that we can ask ourselves. And in the upcoming videos, I'll be talking about different reasons why people choose to lose their freedom, like how people stop using their rationality, and why they undergo discrimination, why they don't question. So I'm going to cover different aspects apart from these. So in the upcoming video I'll come up with another topic. And subscribe to my channel if you're interested in watching more videos, getting notifications. And also subscribe to Manastva. And if you're a particular client and you want to know about things that will help you to improve your mental health, you can subscribe to Manastva website. Then you'll get email notifications whenever I reshare a video to the Manastva site. Thank you for listening. Bye.